Oh man, all right. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Um, I haven't been on YouTube in quite a hot minute. You know, I no way. I've been going down memory lane, guard my spiritual powers, and my fucking bloodline is bearing insanity and shit. And I'm ashamed at how everything is fucking going and how everything is fucking being handled and all that shit. I should be doing a lot fucking better with this shit. Frequency and all of that. The reason why I like using frequency is because it's accurate. You get your shit back accurately. You ain't gotta think. You ain't gotta put a lot of thought to it. You ain't gotta use what Sadhguru calls a lot of engineering to do shit. With that being said, I'm not gonna lie when I say I'm ashamed of myself. You know, the reason why I haven't been doing a lot of videos on YouTube, I plan on doing the tarot reading tomorrow, is because I've been battling telemunas. I'm just thinking about how back in the day I was mad fucking powerful, and this bullshit shouldn't be going on. Trying to help Satan. I know it sounds unbelievable, mad implausible, but all this shit that I'm facing is mad fucking real. I feel like I can do better, and I feel like I'm just letting myself fucking down, and I feel mad fucking bad about it. With that being said, you know, knowing what I am, what was I talking about? Something else. You know, I can do so much better to fight this shit off. Fight off Santa Muerte, that's why I haven't been on YouTube, been trying to pull me into hell realms and shit. I've been having lucid dreams where, like with my parents at the start of this, I mean, the whole thing depresses me. I gotta do something about it. I'm gonna do something about it. I can't take where I'm at. Yeah, it's a nice place physically, but everything is not where I want to. It's too fucking depressing. I'm hearing about these timelines where Zendaya. I was showing the spirit plane how I'm being fed off by all these motherfuckers who are mad fucking wealthy and just can take for granted having all of their fucking body parts in the spirit plane there when they wake up. I don't have that luxury. I don't have stuff for road spirits and shit, and a few lag on motherfuckers. A caring spirit team that actually gives a fuck. You know, it's all about, you know, selling out your shit, sacrifice. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. You know, I was learning about how, like, Zendaya, it kind of reminds me, and I did an article on Nipsey Hussle. Do something with him where they were trying to make him into like a God, Jesus Christ type, and I shut that down with my blog, toplessinla.org. As a matter of fact, I wrote about the battles that's been going on between me and Santa Muerte, whose real name is Telemunas. That's how you know she ain't a real live being who ever fucking existed. Like Baron Samedi, and the Yahoo I've called on, he Kate. Called me for that. Highland Days in the Spirit Plane. It's something to do with. So I'm talking about Zendaya. I had a hard time fucking devouring this because, you know, even going back to before August 22nd, 2022, she seemed like, you know, she was a cool motherfucker, like real, but not, you know, kind of like, she was herself. She didn't exist in the box. She just be. She was who she is. You know, she was biracial, but down for her people. And I like that. That shit that's coming to light, you know, I heard, and this wasn't too long after, too, in 2019, I was showing the trajectory of her life and her filmography right here. On America's Next Top Model, after making some really, really big movies, from what I understand, she sent me an email when I lived in Miracle Mile, proselytizing that you're going to be living under a bridge, you ain't going to be doing well or something. But anyways, because I was somewhat famous on the PC for walking around topless and, you know, my spiritual meanderings and all of that shit, she sacrificed me to the Illuminati. I'm going to say something right now. Their timelines start with Adam Weishaupt. You can use 1248 hertz to fuck their asses up. I don't like them motherfuckers at all. I learned that Prince Andrew in that timeline. I remember the day I got soul swapped. I tried getting back into my body. You can use 808 hertz to do that. I was trying to use my third eye. You can use all sorts of things. Scrying mirrors and shit to do it. And getting bounced out. So that's real. That happened to me. With that being said, from what I understand, I heard she envied a little bit of fame that I got in Miracle Mouth walking around to, I don't know. You know, I'm very skeptical of shit. I'm a natural skeptic. With that being said, she heard about me being on PCH and was told, oh, you got to sell some incarnated God. And she learned in the spirit plane I would become Hike to some shit. I'm called Hollandaise or something in the spirit plane for that shit. And sold me as a sacrifice. If you look at her filmography, she was on America's Next Top Model as herself. I don't know if she was a contestant, but it seems like after... You know, and this is what I learned in the spirit plane about her after doing some shows. If she didn't make that deal with him, she would have went down the timeline of, you know, being a crack hoe, fucking issues or some shit on Fig and selling her ass like this woman here. And at the trajectory of her filmography, it seemed like she was slated for that shit. Like she was destined for that if she didn't sign the deal. And I saw that. I saw the timelines and everything. It can't be negated. Can't be denied. That's when she started, you know, from what I understand, blowing up me on Euphoria. She was doing very well with that. But in 2019, she made the deal. And from what I understand, that's when Euphoria became inexplicably really, really big. I watched it one night when I was staying at a friend's house a long time ago. I believe when I was the crux of this curse, I'm kicking myself in the ass for the moves I made. I could still make moves because I'm still alive and I'm not stuck and confined in the hell realm like Lady Gaga's victim. What was that girl? What was that young lady's name? Lady Morgana, some shit like that. Lena Morgana. Her name was, Lady Gaga's real name is Germanata, some shit like that. With that being said, and she literally killed that young lady, and she got trapped by the black hat man in the hell realm, and I'm kicking myself in the ass because I saw on the spirit plane, and I didn't see it coming, if I would have made a very simple decision, as some little roach spirits were telling me about. They were like, man, don't do that. Go in this direction, man. Don't do no dumb shit. I wouldn't be where I'm at. I would be in a much better place, so with my family, and that's really what matters. I don't give a fuck about what happens to me. But shit goes down with my family, and I've seen the depressing shit that's going down with them. Just recently, Spirit Astral, I saw some road spirits actually helped them out. My parents got taken to Telemunas. That's Santa Muerte's real name. That's how you know she's not a real person. She never existed, like a Baron Samedi, Kate Hathor, because she goes by Telly, meaning entity attachment. That's what she is. That's why frankincense and myrrh are just merely putting like a yellow crayon right there, which keeps negative entities out, keep you out of hell realms. I learned can work on her. Black tourmaline works on her instantly. You can get rid of her. Can't do that with Baron Samedi, Hathor, Kate, none of them. Anubis, Southern Colombian shit. None of them. With that being said, if I would have made a pivotal decision, I wouldn't be in this fucking predicament. I fucked up. And it was simple and it was obvious and it was the best fucking decision. And I fucked up. I'm a fuck up. And it's depressing. It's killing me. It kills me every single fucking day. My higher self was showing me this. And it was, I'm not going to go into too much detail. But had I made a very simple decision, I wouldn't be where I'm at. That shit, the soul swapping would have never happened. I would have had support and spiritual abetment. And me and my spirit team would be in a much better place. I would have a much more loving spirit team that cared. I learned. I had a lot of curses on me back then, but he stemmed off the worst. Give him credit. And I wouldn't be fighting for my life with Telemunas, Santa Muerte. They constantly harassed me every single fucking night. I had to stop doing YouTube videos because my tarot readings were being overshadowed by me having to talk about it because it's weighing on me that much. And just it devouring so much of my time and my energy. So I decided to start handling the shit. And handling the shit on my own. And I saw how they fucking mutilated Baron Samedi in the spirit plane and shit. I was using 3517 hertz, 117 hertz combined with 800 hertz, which builds back up physical bodies and all that, which is really the best. Because in your bones and all of that, I heard the Illuminati, going back to that timeline, by the way, devoured my bones and shit. I mean, my body when I died. When they clone people, demiurge, they get, not Satan, Satan's actually pretty cool. They get bodies direct from the demiurge, they get God, got an industrial complex set up by the Cometians who have jurisdiction over it. They don't want us going any further up to where they are. Illuminati got a problem with it. There's something even deeper. They want to take over our Cometian ancestors. Have a problem with them, go to the Cometians. Somebody else you can go to too. I don't want to say Satan, but they have jurisdiction over them. But anyways, with that being said, they get a body that's physical from them, but it's like rubbery because it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't like from a born body. And bring it from the astral plane directly into the physical plane. That's how they make the clones in Hollywood. That's why they look real. Even though the motherfuckers like Black China here, I heard they demolished her in the spirit plane. They turned, I heard also as well, they turned Jimmy Kimmel into a roach. Because he knew something about this situation. I'm gonna say it right now. Illuminati timeline start with Adam Weishaupt. I'm gonna say this. Anyways, with that being said, they also demolished somebody else. I'm trying to think of their name. That's why I don't. But anyway, she made a deal with him, and I kept hearing her name all throughout this curse at the beginning to sell me out as an incarnated goddess, He-Kate. I'm called Hollandaise in the spirit plane. With that being said, from what I understand, they turned her. You know how, like, all right, when you had Nipsey Hussle, that was more genuine. I didn't like the guy. I felt something was off about him, his mind, everything else, but he's more authentic. They were doing a ritual, low key, to turn him into a god. I talked about it on my blog. But that shit cleaned down. Anyways, with that being said, they're doing the same thing in that timeline, that August 22nd, 2022 timeline where I got Storm, Soul Swap, where her, and from what I understand, her mama in that timeline, Marie, Claire Stormer, who from what I understand was a prostitute or some shit like that. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna sell that weirdo house. She's supposed to be He-Kate in the future. They went to somebody to get, dibs on who they could just sell out, who ain't gonna have support, and that's what happened to me. And they planned on taking my powers of He-Kate, which comes from one of my ancestors, Cometian ancestors, Isis. When they talk about the Illuminati, wanting to co-opt Egyptian symbolism and all of that, Egyptian calligraphy symbols, they're trying to take their power and they're trying to become them. The Iran, all of that, you see them doing all that shit here. I want to mention something too as an aside. Zendaya, from what I understand, recently I saw on the spirit plane, showing this today as a matter of fact, 69695 her receipt. As many zeros at the end and beginning of this book, Akashic Records. She stole from my child consciousness and then killed it off. That's the most fucked up thing. So she gave some shit. The Cometian gods ain't for that. They don't like soul swapping either. The rule of the universe is that's not supposed to happen. That shit with Kanye West, the shit with Eminem, the shit with Black China, the shit with Kodak Black. I heard that, you can see right here for yourself that wasn't that long after I did the video about Kanye that he got taken out of that hell realm, and you can see that's his authentic self. He was lashing out at him, throwing rocks like I used to do to motherfuckers on the PCH, bothering me, and that's because he came from some cold, hard stone hell realm, where he was living in the dumpster and straight up homeless. And I understand Kanye West going through the same thing.
And by the way, we're not black. How about that? We're not black, nigga. We're Indian.
Do you take back any of the anti-Semitic stuff you might have said?
Black people can't be anti-Semitic. We are Jew.
Well,
you understand what I'm saying? We are Jew.
I think
so cool out. Until you do your facts, until you really do the facts with the fake indoctrination that y'all pull into the schools and all that, you know what I'm saying? We're not following y'all rules.
I mean, just like calling death con on Jews and that's like, do you take back any of that sort of more extreme stuff?
You know what? For all the kids that love me, all the Jewish kids that love me, I'm sorry if y'all had to hear a grown-up conversation with us screaming at each other. But we got to a point where something needed to happen. Something needed to be said. Somebody needed to say something. Now, if you're in an argument with somebody, you're not going to say everything the right way. But it got to a point where y'all ain't going to just keep running, start calling me bizarre and impressed for all these years. I got to the point, how many more times y'all going to call me crazy? How many more times y'all going to give me fake medication that makes me fat off of a misdiagnosis when I really have slight signs of autism from the car accident? But then y'all gave me, you say, whatever, just give them that bipolar medication. Y'all try to kill the superheroes. But we here, we alive.
Don't throw anything at our camera.
Yeah.
Don't throw anything at our camera. Don't throw anything at our camera. Don't throw anything at our camera.
With that being said, when they placed him back out of his body, Kodak Black, from what I understand, they placed him where he opens up his eyes, he see a dumpster, like a dream within a dream, like Insurrection, but it's real, it's physical. But he's not in his body, so he's in another dimension. He keeps seeing a dumpster, then the dumpster, it's hell. He's in the hell. I heard that in the spirit plane. He catered really telling Munez and Cassandra Nunez, they did something where they did shading fraud with me where they brought me into the spirit plane. Remember, Lewa was there one night, and they tried to get me to sign a form where I my consciousness is fucked up. So it's in the spirit plane. It's not even legal. Sign a form giving away my rights to be Hecate or some shit like that. And they claimed I signed it. You can use 1215 hertz to get rid of that shit, which I did. But I don't think it's legal. I called all my Commission ancestors to try to get rid of that shit, eviscerated. I remember seeing what appeared to be Hecate could be that Cassandra Nunez. That's an evil motherfucker to have in your energy. Somebody else's higher self. It's a very complex issue. But anyways, to make a long story short, in that timeline, from what I understand, the Rothschilds, the Windsors, the Illuminati plan on using her for the whole beast thing, which is to steal the power of Hecate, who controls a lot of shit in the spirit plane. You know, that's why she's not a very well-known god. And use the powers of Hecate. I look all fucking bad. I don't look like nowhere near remotely how I used to be, and my face keeps inexplicably morphing and everything. But anyways, as I was saying before, they plan on, from what I understand through my dad's line here, which you can see, he related to ISIS. They keep kidnapping them in the spirit plane, going back to that timeline. I mean, we already endured enough tragedies as it is, you know, learning about the trauma, being taken out your body, being blocked from being able to return, and being made to look like I grew up in a happy home, and from what I understand, that motherfucker that's in my body, superstar in that timeline, she with Lil Wayne, she got 2 homunculuses for kids. From what I understand, the demiurge himself will say that's not supposed to exist. Comedian God, same thing. With that being said, when they placed him back out of his body, Kodak Black, from what I understand, they placed him where he opens up his eyes, he see a dumpster, like a dream within a dream, like Insurrection, but it's real, it's physical. But he's not in his body, so he's in another dimension. He keeps seeing a dumpster, then the dumpster, it's hell. He's in the hell. I heard that in the spirit plane. He catered really telling Munez and Cassandra Nunez, they did something where they did shading fraud with me, where they brought me into the spirit plane. Remember, Lewa was there one night, and they tried to get me to sign a form where I my consciousness is fucked up. So it's in the spirit plane. It's not even legal. Sign a form giving away my rights to be Hecate or some shit like that. And they claimed I signed it. You can use 12, 15 hertz to get rid of that shit, which I did. But I don't think it's legal. I called all my comedian ancestors to try to get rid of that shit, eviscerated. I remember seeing what appeared to be Hecate could be that Cassandra Nunez. That's an evil motherfucker to have in your energy. Somebody else's higher self. It's a very complex issue. But anyways, to make a long story short, in that timeline, from what I understand, the Rothschilds, the Windsors, the Illuminati plan on using her for the whole beast thing, which is to steal the power of Hecate, who controls a lot of shit in the spirit plane. You know, that's why she's not a very well-known god. And use the powers of Hecate. I look all fucking bad. I don't look like nowhere near remotely how I used to be, and my face keeps inexplicably morphing and everything. But anyways, as I was saying before, they plan on, from what I understand from my dad's line here, which you can see, he related to ISIS. They keep kidnapping them in the spirit plane, going back to that timeline. I mean, we already endured enough tragedies as it is, you know, learning about the trauma, being taken out your body, being blocked from being able to return, and being made to look like, I grew up in a happy home, and from what I understand, that motherfucker that's in my body, superstar in that timeline, she with Lil Wayne, she got 2 homunculuses for kids. From what I understand, the demiurge himself will say that's not supposed to exist. Comedian God, same thing. Use 695 hertz, 694 hertz to use the Akashic records to see as well. The Illuminati stay hiding that shit from people, by the way, so you gotta go to the Comedian Gods and reveal it to them. But anyways, from what I understand, they made my parents look like fucking crackheads and shit. My parents were anything but. You look at the Akashic records, 69694, 5 hertz. I hope Zendaya, Coleman acting as Hecate don't block that shit in the spirit plane. Throw that motherfucker God. But they plan on using her for some B shit to try to start. I saw it, you know, going back to 2000, and I first got out here to California, 2011, 2000, another time 2008, 2011. Major cataclysmic disaster, some Project Bluebeam, HARP shit. And using her, and then trying to put it on me or some shit like my successorship. Again, they're keeping them to steal the powers of Hecate, and they use that Cassandra Nunez, from what I understand, is Maul here. Kind of look off for a dimensional there, by the way. That's supposed to be an extension. It's a mall I used to frequent called the Esplanade Plaza in New Orleans East. That I used to frequent all the time. That I used to frequent all the time. When I lived in New Orleans East growing up, she They gave her, it's how little nigga wet bags and shit is bad. Y'all got Quetzalcoatl, y'all protected from the asses, because Quetzalcoatl ain't none of that shit. Separate demiurge. Main one is like Aludamari, but he's like the blueprint created by the Cometian gods for him. Aludamari was the blueprint, and from what I understand, they got one timeline where he runs it, and it's only 35,000 people, everybody get along. White, black, everybody equal. But anyways, use this 694, 695 hertz, the Akashic Records to see. Third eye. Try to get back. Anyways, with that being said, from what I understand, they plan on harvesting their powers, you know, doing some really they gave her a realm in the Illuminati. From what I understand, the timelines start with Adam Weishaupt. They got Mason, they Vaudeville, or Blanche, or some shit like that. That's what they. I was shown Gita's, which is where they torture people and shit. The film Hostel was made out of, based on. But anyways, they gave her a mall that's supposed to be a house for her with the Illuminati in the spirit plane, so that she could fuck with me in that timeline, that August 22nd, 2022 timeline. And going back to May the 1st, 2024, she and a dude named Montez or something fucked me up. But anyways, with that being said, they plan on using her for some beef shit. You can go ahead and use 694, 695 hertz. Holiday Akashic Records to see what the fuck is up. I don't like what's coming. They even tried her attachments or something. Tried to physically come to me, give me a black card. I said, get out of here, man. I don't want y'all shit. So that they could kill my ass once I sign with them. I'm not naive and I don't like them. I don't really need money. You know, I've been homeless for much of my life, and when you accept a black card from them, you got to do what they say. You can't even spend all that money. It's like, for instance, if you somebody who is poor and you don't have like a notable job, that's why they give Rihanna and them like sham companies. Like, I'm going to give you a beauty supply company. They do that with Gomez, who took that little girl, Kanika Jenkins, fucking organs and shit. They'll give me a black card. and you have to keep up appearances. So, you know, it's like being a drug dealer, except it ain't money you earn. They give you shit where you can't look like you live above your means. So if you were a poor motherfucker from the get-go, then you have to continue looking like a poor motherfucker. But you got this unlimited spending power. And they do something in the spirit plane where they sell off their consciousness to like big time fucking entities or something. I don't know. And that determines the word, even though humans are a lot more worthy as shit of their word. Like, for instance, they don't have to pay for shit. And from what I understand, like Prince Andrew, supposed to be related to me in the past life or something. Supposed to be fucking gay black dude. This nigga. Anyways, from what I understand, they give him $12 to go and look for hookers. Heard one time where he wanted to pay for some Thai hookers. He told him, "Hey, I'm Prince Andrew, white dude, Prince. You ain't gonna think twice about seeing a nigga like that." And they thought, man, we gonna get $1,200 at least. And at the most, he was gonna give him $12. And it's supposed to be money that comes from the network of entities in the universe, interstellarly, that they interact with, that gives them a certain amount of money for the perceived value of their consciousness or something. I don't know. That's what I learned in the spirit world during this shit. But it's fucking hell. And I'm going to do something about it. I saw in the spirit plane starkly, all them people, Mama Marie Star, whatchamacallit, Claire, the Stormer, who was taking a lot of my shit. You know, who was wearing the Baphomet ring as I showed y'all. It was 1488 hertz, 1488 2 hertz on the bitch. Anyways, with that being said, from what I understand, got sold off as a sacrifice. And now in some cases, I have the people like her who sacrificed me acting as my highest selves falsely. And usurping the position from my real highest selves. Just to keep me stuck under the curse. And I'm not going to tolerate that. Well, I proselytize my truth. I speak my truth on here. Use 6,000 hertz, 6,002 hertz for wetbacks like I've been trying to do with this lady here, but she did something to make it work against me, Cassandra Nunez. But anyways, I notice I'm dependent on some of the people that sacrificed me, acting as my spirit guides and higher selves, because they eliminated them. That's a motherfucking problem. Like here, I'm gonna say something too. Kate's Hell Realm is mad fucking scary. It was in my consciousness or some shit. I woke up in the middle of the night when my vision was blurry, meaning you're about to get pulled out your body. And I know that a couple of weeks ago because I almost had that happen. And that's because my shit's all out there and I ain't got my spiritual protection. Anyways, I woke up in the middle of the night and her hell realm looks a lot like the fucking regular physical plane. Except you have roach attachments of people that look like people, or in some cases like zombies or demons that'll be walking by. You won't notice it. Sometimes straight up like the regular physical world. And with one breath, like you've seen in some movies, like I saw with one with Goddess Kali a long time ago, they ingest you into their mouth. And I was almost pulled into a hell realm, but I started playing 125 hertz, 155 hertz, and 1552 hertz could be used to defeat Kate. And zeros at the end and beginning as possible to enhance the number. Same thing with 125 hertz, they get you out of hell realms. And I was able to woke me and the mortal spirits out. I think she still got some of them to this day. Now I've been trying to get them little babies out because they help me out a lot. They look out for me. I also want to thank all the well-wishers. Young black lady that was, saying Bible verses. There was also a nice young man by the name of Effie. I want to thank you so much. And you're right, man. It's all about taking your power back, and I got to do that. And I feel fucking dead. I was told I'm like brain dead in the spirit plane. I feel dead. I feel drained, and I feel dead. And I wish, but I know I can't, even if I was intact physically in the spirit plane. Wish I can get back to preaching about spiritual issues and all of that. I can beat this shit. I gotta take my power back. Using 6,002 hertz, I combined it with 6,000 hertz with 3,002 hertz. There's power when you add numbers. She did something to make it work against me. So I gotta sort that shit out. With that being said, we're gonna get to some cards. We'll throw some cards right now. This is pretty. Sound like a fucking nut. I look like a nut at the beginning of the video, but I really am not. Consciousness is down the fucking dead. I feel dead. It's killing me what I saw in that timeline. All them people who are wealthy and successful and could just mind their business, they still living in the 3D. They still got their physical bodies. They're making their parents proud. I'm stuck here, out of my body, and stuck in hell realms where I'm being parsed up, cut up, having my shit stolen out of my body every single day. Just some cases they had me wait for 5 fucking hours and shit just to get my shit back. Sun in reverse. I didn't tolerate that shit. I'm like, no. Got lost fiber cups right here. It's intriguing. So I'm gonna do these cards. That's depressing. There's a little ugly ass nigga by the name of Lil Wayne, and he makes me go through pussy sessions from what I understand the person that's in my body. I wouldn't even fuck with a little nigga like that. Couldn't pay me. Heard he's very, very, I'm shocked by him as well. I didn't think he would be like that. He seemed very intelligent and in touch with himself. Misogynistic. I got the sense that people took advantage of him and would rape him and shit. In that timeline, I just have a hard time reconciling a lot of that shit from what I seen in the spirit plane. It's like when shit throws you off about your idol. So anyways, in the obstacle position, we got the magician. Ryan, by the way. And I feel that you're coming into your power and you're coming into ownership of your power, and I see you're going to have abetment coming for you. People who really care about you and got your best interests. It's creepy. 2 of Swords is the current position, and I feel like you at a path where something is telling you to come into your power, but something is also trying to block you from 2 separate paths that could lead you down a very, very negative path. The Star. You got the Star. I feel that that's your future position. A lot of people are going to be looking up to you for abetment, seeing you as somebody to admire. And you can be you. I'm like, the motherfuckers in that time, I heard Zendaya, they did something where they steal my shit to make her like me. I remember the Illuminati stealing some of my child consciousness, and her just recently actually stealing it and then throwing it away. I mean, stealing out my child consciousness and then killing it off. That's depressing. So anyways, Page of Swords is the subconscious, and I feel that you at a point Page of Swords. I feel that you at a place where you're being deliberate in your actions. You're thinking shit through. My conscience is fucked up. I'm trying to remember the word. I don't want to say premeditating, but you don't just rush into things. Goal position, Ten of Pentacles. I feel that you're trying to get out of a very fucked up situation so you can have peace and love with your people, with your family. Kills me how sex work is called, and motherfuckers that don't be loving them family. The Hangman. That's not the outcome. Your agenda position, what your agenda should be. Something is telling you not to sit to the sidelines, but be smart in how you do things. I don't want to say premeditate, but give something a lot of thought, contemplation. Five of Cups is the energy that's around you. You're facing losses, and there's a lot of motherfuckers around you that's facing losses that have your best interests at heart. The Sun is your fears and your hopes card. I feel that you will see the sun, and you will see better days. Thank you all for your kind words. I'm so fucked. Queen of Pentacles. I feel that's going to be you, but you're going to have to be the serpent bitch who's ardently acting as an opposite, and young kids call them against you. It's fucking depressing. Anyways, if you want a more personalized reading, please contact me at readingbyterror22@yahoo.com.